Greetings, everyone. Welcome to CRWS Decoding of Roar, the woman who solved her own murder, which is episode 6. And this episode is directed by a victim of racism, Black female, Anya Adams. And it is very much a tragic indication of how they are training us to think and you know a theme here is, hey, the white woman, she's gonna even in death, she's still able to solve problems. And I saw this female cop character is the kind of, I don't know why it's not
Firefighter.
I don't know why it's not playing with the, let me get the female black cop. A female black cop is, she plays the role as the help. She's definitely the help to the white woman here who's dead, and who has to solve her own murder because it seems that the racists, the race soldiers are incompetent to solve the crime. So the white woman has to do what she does best and solve her own problems with the help of this black female who's literally spends the entire episode taking orders from white people, getting them coffee, whatnot. But yeah, this episode is very is this is, if this is an indication of the quality of this racist propaganda, then this is, yeah, pretty mediocre programming. Just programming us that, hey, the white woman is all capable, and yeah, and just to get into like how the Yurugu views death and whatnot, I could tell this is written by a non-white person because it ain't no Yurugu going anywhere after they exit this existence. I suspect ain't no hereafter for them. I don't think a lot of them suspect that they go somewhere after this unless they've actually been believe the racist programming that they give us and religion with the whole heaven and nonsense. But yeah, this is not happening. So I think when I saw this part, I was like, hey, this may be directed by a non-white person because this is not how the Yurugu typically views after the after existence. I saw the detectives as, a good display of how the system is. We have race soldiers who call themselves police officers, call themselves detectives, but they're just race soldiers, here to serve the system of white supremacy. And they're very incompetent, very incompetent. The only reason this case was solved because she's a white woman and she helped to solve it herself. But the detectives are very incompetent and also very refined racists. We're not supposed to even view these people as racist, but I suspect that they may be racist. I don't have any direct proof besides that they weren't trying to produce justice. It seemed to me that the only black male that we saw was also another black victim of racism who thinks he's a cop. That it's getting at, when we find out who actually killed her, it was a racist child who killed her. And this episode, Apple TV does, I guess they have so much money there, they just say, hey, why not, we can also produce racist propaganda entertainment. So here we are. But yeah, it seems like they're trying to take a crack at the whole another symptom of racism, white supremacy, which is this incel thing that they're calling it, which is a bunch of white people mostly who say, hey, I can't, it's harder for me to get sex, and I am a suspected racist, I am a white person, I sex and aggression, that's something that I have to admit or I'm gonna go ballistic. and we have a number of white people. Hey, they can't get sex, so they just go for the aggression all the way by killing, maiming, running people over in vans, or shooting people with Glock nines. You know, Elliot Rogers. I forget the other fellow, but there's been a number of them. So it's cracking at that. And racist man and racist woman, they're aware of, the problems that their system are producing. But hey, death is good for this, but it's good for their business. So nothing will be done to correct it. It will only amplify. We've been worshiping death in the form of entertainment for a very long time. That's something the Romans were accustomed to as well. Anything else? Yeah, this is very I'm not sure. Maybe I should apologize for making y'all watch this garbage, but yeah, that's yeah, that was yeah.
Well, okay. Just about you just bringing up the director. She does have a white parent. Her mother is white, so that's a telltale sign there. I think the first thing I wrote down was hold on, let me come with that the detectives, they were in charge. You know that they even asked for coffee. So one right there. I also wrote down Whoopi Goldberg, and I'm like, like to me that was an insult because if you watch any of Whoopi Goldberg's movies, for the most part, she's helping out a white person. Uh,
Yeah.
um, yeah, we'll go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, she kept saying, yeah, I need my Whoopi Goldberg versus code. I need my magical black person to help me solve my problem, or I need my helper. And she got it. She got her Whoopi Goldberg in the form of this character right here. The black female was her Whoopi Goldberg. So a little inside joke, a little racist, shoulder rub to each other. They know what they're doing. Mm-hmm.
What the suspected usual suspect said before the non-white officer walked up was very interesting as well. He basically said, "Who is the you know penis who messed this whole situation up?" And then who walked up? The non-white female.
A number of sex jokes, penis jokes.
Lots of cursing.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of tackiness all around this episode. And I just hate, just just a black female. Just I'm just not even gonna mention, but the hair situation is incorrect as well. Mm. And yeah, another indication. Hey, white people, masters of deceit, masters of deceit. So this is why counter racist logic, counter racist code, not some imaginary code that I'm blabbing on about. An actual code, counter racist code says if a white person is able to practice racism and white supremacy, it's best to suspect that racist, or it's best to suspect that white person of being a racist. A racist suspect, a suspected white supremacist. It's very simple. It save a lot of confusion and prevent a lot of harm possibly for applying that bit of counter racist code. The whip, I noticed the whip, and this image right here reminds me of that image that went around during Halloween a couple of years back with the I don't know during Halloween, but it was like a black female. She's like
News.
smiling. Yeah, she had the noose around her. You remember that image? Is that also etched in your brain computer
No,
somewhere?
I was just adding to the to the actual like I
Yeah.
said, the actual rope. I just thought it was also a news too. So yeah.
There's an image of a black female laughing with a white uh person I think she thinks is her friend, but she's laughing with a noose around her. Let me see. I'm gonna attempt to find it, but I doubt I will be able to.
I found it interesting that usually when we see non-white people, let's say like in a ghost type role or some kind of always scary demon or apparition. Let's say Snoop and Bones, right? Okay. So when you're non-white, you're you remember why you die, and that's the whole point of the movie. This here is shows that the white woman is so powerful she can forget why she died, and the whole thing is her trying to figure out her past identity. Like you get like a new past in the afterlife. Like it's crazy.
Great point, because I did watch that movie. They even had flashbacks showing Snoop Dogg character dying, and I mean him like I think he even like witnesses his actual own death in the actual flick. So yeah, great point there. Great point.
Tales from the Hood.
That too. Wow. Wow. Yeah.
That movie is a horrific display of what it means to be a victim and what it means to be.
Yeah.
Here's what the system's all
Lots.
about: a crazy kid and trying to make a crazy kid out of all of us.
Lots. Yeah. Ooh,
Uh,
man. I'm thinking of that movie right now. Like, oh, yeah. I watched that
uh,
a lot.
yeah, as I'm sure as a young victim as well, because that's how
Yes.
insane we were. Yep, as a watching. Yep, I watch it as a good.
I just
Yeah,
found this whole episode very trashy.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I did.
say again. Wait,
I
wait.
do.
I
Go.
didn't hear
Sorry.
Miss
Sorry.
Action. Would you say Miss Action?
I said I found this whole episode very trashy. I just had to think of some action items for non-white people, particularly non-white females. One, stop being overly friendly and be businesslike. Do your job. Focus on what your job description is. If your job description is not getting coffee, don't get coffee. If you're there to solve a murder, solve the murder. I'll, I'm in her place. What she should have done when he said, well, we need this roped off, forget the coffee. He has a car, he can go get his coffee. You're there to solve a murder. Do your job. Stop being overly friendly. Stop this small talk, all of this nonsense. You're there to do a job. When the job is done, in the interaction. These people don't care. That's one action item. I don't know. I'm just kind of irritated with the whole episode.
It was just typical. It was a mediocre racist propaganda. Apple just said, "Hey, we got billions of dollars. Let's just why not? Why not create a streaming service where you can dish out 24/7 racist propaganda? Non-white people aren't gonna know what they're getting bombarded with." But here we are. Hopefully, a non-white person who has seen this show for whatever reason they decided to watch this episode, this series. Hopefully, they'll find this broadcast and realize, maybe I should go to producejustice.com and get my copy of the code book, because white people seem to be clowning us 24/7, and I could barely even notice it. I want to stop being. I want to stop being this their victims. I want to do something better in my existence. I wish I could find that picture.
You looking for like a certain scene?
Oh no, there's a
Oh,
famous.
you were talking about
Yeah.
that news picture.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Well, we don't need to spend any more time on this. Possibly, I'm thinking if I covered everything. Be suspicious of all white people, for their safety and for the effort to produce justice. They're suspicious of all of us 24/7, so we should give them that same courtesy. And another thing, racist man, racist woman, they do not mind portraying us as, they're as their acceptable servants. And an acceptable servant is a victim who thinks they're a police officer. That directly, serves the racist man and racist woman more so than other plantation jobs, I would say. But that's neither here nor there. All of us, no matter our plantation work, should be attempting to produce justice. And I'm sure what this combination of colors, I'm sure it means something. I'm sure it just may even be some sort of coded as some sort of flag, maybe some sort of anti-sex flag. But I yeah, I can't decipher it now, or maybe it's not that deep. I do suspect this guy is also from the Hannibal show. Let me confirm, see if he's from the show Hannibal. Cause if he
Yes,
is,
sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
all
sir.
right, okay, so he's from the show Hannibal. On that show,
Good eye.
he
Yeah.
practices I'm sure he practices cannibalism in that show, also engages in murder in that show. And racist man and racist woman, they don't see the people on the screen as separate characters. They're all sort of tied together. You could sort of see some characters that's continuing on. So maybe after he left, the Hannibal show, he's now doing his detective work here. As a little insider there, but
Yeah. I'm looking up this yellow, pink, and white. Uh, I think it is an actual flag. Just trying to find the specifics of it. But yes, that is the guy from Hannibal. Yep. Watch that show too.
And I do know that usually the term roar, maybe in this context, I suspect might be the I am woman, hear me roar that came out of the feminist movement. So maybe that little has something to do with that. Well, let's look at the apostrophe. You have the bad guy in the left, out in the dark, good guy on the right, little pinstripe tie, she's in the middle. So you see what it is.
yeah, very coded. And roar, yeah, this whole thing could be some sort of just propaganda. White women, taking their turn at, hey, showing their white counterpart, hey, we could also confuse the non-white people too. We could get them some, we got them confused too. Don't forget, we saved y'all. Don't forget who saved y'all during, after the 1960s when the non-white people were getting less confused. Don't forget who saved y'all, who went in and captured all the black females and made the black females think that they were feminists. Don't forget who helped y'all. It was us, the white women. We're a team, racist team, globally. Yeah. Roar.
I
So
wouldn't
this whole,
say there's so much a team. I think she's really the brains behind the operation. Just my
oh,
personal opinion.
oh dang.
I agree.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
agree.
yeah. She's the brains and they're the muscle, right? The men are,
Well, I
white
say
men
it
are
like
muscle.
this. Okay, I say it like this. If counter racist logic says that it's a worldwide system, that means that it can be practiced on multiple places and those people don't have to make contact. The cows have showed us this. You could be in South Africa or Pennsylvania, you'll see the same thing at a certain time stamp. Why? Because it's a pathology. Usually in things that's a hive mind, and you see there's a queen at the chart.
I was just about to say it. I was just about to say that H word, hive in mind.
The movie Aliens is very telling. They just made the xenomorphs black, but think about the movie Alien. It's the queen at the head.
Interesting. I
Yeah,
think
just
that.
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
All right. Just going back to the whole theory on the flag thing. This may be the pansexual flag. They got a white definition for it. Basically, it means again another confusing term, not limited in sexual choice with regard to biological sex, gender, or gender identity. I have no clue what that means.
Well, I mean, in how many instances when she goes back to a crime scene, it's kind of like, well, you were just kind of sleeping around with people. It almost reminded me like of if Alice Sebold had have died in Lucky, this would be the after story, part 2.
Ooh, yeah, like you think the scene with her in the car, you
There you
know,
go. Yep.
or or like even after she drives off, they actually show all of these scenes to where she's like around everybody trying to like solve this crime scene. Gotcha.
Or like a parody of True Detective season 1, where it's a girl tied up to a tree with antlers. She's in a bunny suit.
That too.
Kind of, slapstick comedy, a little bit. It doesn't, it's just a silly rabbit, right? Yeah,
That
exactly.
too. Yeah, like I mean, I never finished that actual season, but yeah, I remember from like the first like couple episodes. Yeah, I definitely get that similarity. Yeah, from True Detective.
Very, very telling on pathology. Very telling.
Yeah. I mean, I guess my other note was, they brought up Paradise Lost. That's the West Memphis Three, in case anybody doesn't know about that. 3 white boys in the '90s. They did this satanic ritual and killed this white child, and like spent like years upon years in prison before they got released, like in the early 2010s. So yeah, it was in Arkansas.
Is that who Johnny Depp helped get out of jail or something like that? He advocated them for the get out of.
I believe so. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Johnny Depp comes into play again.
Everything, everything is on time. Well, in this concept we call time. It's really just
Paradise Lost is also an interesting book by Dante. It's got very telling on what we heard earlier this morning on the show. That this whole white man's burden, that goes back to what you're talking about with with that Paradise Lost concept.
Yeah, because then earlier in the actual episode they brought up true crime, saying that's like a white woman's like fetish, or like they just love true crime. And I mean, if you just go through through the so-called genre of true crime, lots of white women with like podcasts speaking about death. So wrote that down too.
yeah, commodification of death. It's hand in hand in the system. Something that mentioned in Atlanta. I forgot to bring that up, but yeah. This was a doozy. Definitely not of the likes of upper echelon racist propaganda, whatever in the hell that. What that doesn't mean anything. I'm just saying victim. That doesn't disregard that. But garbage programming, garbage episode. Let's see if we will actually do the others. Any more notes before we wrap this up? Looks like there's 1, 2, 3.
Nope. I mean, I guess my other note was just death consumption. That was it.
Yeah.
It was like with some of that going on in episode 2.
Reading is more important than watching television. Get good at playing the black side of the chessboard.
Yes, and the only reason
100%.
yes, and the only reason we're so capable of decoding this because we've done so much reading, I suppose. I know I am. Before I was reading, I was not. I was thinking, oh, that's deep. That's about it. I wasn't analyzing. Didn't have the ability to analyze because I didn't know enough. Even after I was so-called college educated, I still was not able to analyze things correctly.
Let alone take a note.
Yeah, take a note. Yeah. Bro. All right,
I
folks,
can
please.
say,
Oh, go
oh,
ahead,
I'm
y'all.
sorry. I just want to say real quick. I can always read. I'm sure that's like us, we have to be able to read. We're victims, but I can say I didn't know what I was looking at. Once I knew what I was looking at, then it's like learning a new language. Counter racist logic is another language.
Yeah, we have a comment. I have to copy and
Vastly
paste it.
different language.
Yeah,
With the code, we're in, right now, you could not be in a coder. Okay, well, okay.
Yep. Yeah. Because I mean, if I'm talking to another victim, yeah, they're like, okay, but they're not taking it to like, okay, let me like write it down to where maybe I could research what he's talking about or what she's talking about. But
At least just taking words serious. We have to like be able to,
that too.
like taking words seriously. That's like like the first step you could do. Just like, okay, what's being said.
I agree.
All righty, folks, please feed the algorithm by commenting and sharing this piece of attempted counter racist information, propaganda, war, just an effort against the system of racism and white supremacy. Thanks for getting this far if you did. Oh God.